from the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am black business. I am black business. Tell me, are you black business? I am black business. Do you support black businesses? Listen, I support black business because I am black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of black business in the world.
You are in the right place at the right time. The Black Business Network opens again for its Black Business Olympics, a 24/7 broadcast on business, strategies, global branding, social media marketing, finance, advertisement, and much, much more. Featuring the top, most powerful entrepreneurs and speakers and thought leaders from all around the world as they gather together for this phenomenal event. Join the Black Business Network streaming live into the metaverse, STEM City, USA, Black Multiverse, Pod TV, Roku, Hulu, iHeartRadio, Apple TV, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Google Podcasts, Facebook, LinkedIn, IBM TV, Spotify, and Twitch. Tune in today and be a part of this amazing movement. The Black Business Olympics welcomes you. How many times have you been asked to help someone you didn't even know, a student, a business entrepreneur, or did you ever even ask, where did they end up? That business, that friend, that entrepreneur. Well, just maybe they ended up in a gang, bankrupt, homeless, or worse, dead. Maybe they turned to crime, drugs, and alcohol. Did you ever wonder? Did you destroy their dream, or was your life always so easy? At the Black Business Olympics, we started a movement to help students complete. Give them hope and foster success. Help them to leave their dreams of providing laptops, computers, and up to $5,000 in scholarship funds. Today, we ask you to help a student, a business owner, or an entrepreneur to realize their dreams by sponsoring them, supporting them, and buying from them. Consider this. With $1.6 trillion in our Black community, we only ask for a small donation for our students, our businesses, and our entrepreneurs. And you can change a life today. So I ask you, what are you going to do? Sit on the sideline and watch our students in high school be losers, miss out on their dream from lack of resources? Or are you going to donate to the movement and change their future and yours as well? Give us a call today at 919-308-9090. Change their life by investing with action to the Black Business Olympic Fund. The Black Business Olympics, one of the largest business showcases of black business in the history of the world.
The Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics are essential platforms for black business owners globally. They provide the tools and support you need to succeed in today's competitive marketplace. Join us today as we collaborate together with businesses from around the world to support our children, students, and young future entrepreneurs, black businesses, and corporations. We raise funds for students going to college and young entrepreneurs who are aspiring to be business owners. and we invite you to be a contributor today. Visit the website www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to connect with and learn more about how the Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics can help you not only share your amazing business story to businesses, but also serve future generations. Hello, my name is David Jones, CEO and co-founder of Hello LLC, where we help businesses build a culture, brand an experience, and leverage technology to pivot into Web3. Join the Black Business Network streaming live into Roku, Metaverse, STEM City, Black Multiverse Enterprises, Hulu, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Apple, Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, Twitch, and Google Podcasts. Tune in, turn on, and let's thrive.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support, where health education is abundant, where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
I'd like you to imagine with me, if you will, opening an app where you can collaborate with like-minded individuals from around the world, get inspiration and in-app tools to launch and grow your business, as well as share your...
Hello, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. And my genius is helping women accelerate the path to success. You know, I was blessed to have strong women in my life who encouraged, motivated, and pushed me to do my best and to never even think about giving up on my dreams. So I say to women, we must show up to rise up. We have talents and potential, but who will see them if we don't speak up and get noticed? I know that women are a tremendous resource on this planet, and there is nothing more fulfilling than helping a woman tap into her full potential. I do this because I want to be a part of helping as many women as I can to show up, to rise up. I do this because genius is common. Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million+ women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success.
I was born in a little village on the island of Haiti. Many deadly diseases pounded me. It is as if they were on a mission to end my existence on this earth. I refused to give up. In 1983, I left Haiti and came to the United States of America. And I came with $5, 2 shirts. I didn't speak any English. I came to Atlanta. I got a job. I was a doorman. I was a doorman with a dream. What I used to do, I used to come on stage. I'd rehearse this moment that I'm standing in front of you. That's the power of a dream. Maybe today is the day you begin acting as if you already have it. And then step out with full force. Take a risk. No condition is permanent. Don't let your situation distract you. You are chosen. You are called. You are born for a purpose in this life.
Artist to me is a creative expression of something from nothing. You know, it explodes onto the canvas, or it explodes on in my work. One of the things that I try to do more than anything is I try to just give the lines and the movements and emotions and expressions into what I do. Art really means to me a chance to express how I feel deep down inside. Most of my art begins as a thought that I might have, you know, whether it's sports, whether it's history, whether it's a woman or a man. It pretty much starts as an idea of thought before I get into the actual image of what I'm going to draw. I do a lot of historical pieces. I was a history minor in college, and I love to do history pieces. And a lot of times I'm thinking about history, and then I try to make that history impact you as you look at it. That's one of the reasons I do pictures so large. People ask me, why do I do pictures so big? And I tell them, I want the piece to impact them as they're looking at it. To kind of dominate them, dominate their space. And most of my pieces I try to do off page. I don't try to do anything that's going to be in those 4 corners or in a square. And I want your imagination to be a part of the piece that you're looking at.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black business. I am Black business. Tell me, are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Good day, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Zanine Davis. I am your business moderator for today on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. So today we are having a panel discussion led by Tasima Giles, discussing challenges that Black women have in business. On the panel today, we have Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, who is the president and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute, a 22-year Army veteran, international TEDx speaker, TED Talk speaker, international best-selling author, creator of the online course, Crack the Career Code, Unblock the Amazing Power Within to Lead with Confidence, Charisma, and Credibility. Host of the Success for Women radio TV show, career strategist, trainer, and business consultant. She helps women progress in their career into upper management and executive level positions by providing them with a fast track yet comprehensive toolkit of life skills and abilities. She also helps women and female veterans who are transitioning out of the workplace and military into business entrepreneurship. Dr. Lewis has numerous awards and accolades. She was just awarded the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce 2023 Excellence in Business Visionary of the Year Award. She also received the Most Influential Women Empowerment Coach Award from Canadian Ambassador H.E. Denisa Gakovi. Dr. Lewis was also selected for the 2022 Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Award and the 2022 Veteran Champions of the Year, VCOY, in corporate America. The 2022 VCOY corporate list honors 30 champions who advocate for our nation's veterans in the civilian workforce. She was also selected to receive the Acquisition International 2022 Most Empowering Women Success Coach Award. Among her many accolades, she has been quoted and written about in numerous magazines. Her mission is to help women accelerate their path to success. Her personal quote, "Being proud of your background and unique attributes will ensure continued growth, Recognition provides the opportunity to speak about and showcase our experience as women, exhibiting strength in the business world." Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. Also on the panel today, we have Coach Teresa Teasley, also known as T. Nicole. She is a native of Pontiac, Michigan. She currently resides in Texas. Growing up in the city of Pontiac, she faced many trials and tribulations of her own, but her faith is how she survived them all. When she was 4 years old, her innocence was taken, and because of this, she lost her voice. She didn't know how to show up authentically, nor did she have an opportunity to live a carefree life or how to love without limits. The breach of trust had been broken by someone that her parents trusted to protect her. For many years, she had to fight to protect herself and never let anyone know her truth. After many years of suffering silently, Teresa became driven by her purpose and went on a spiritual journey of recovery to heal from past hurt and reclaim her life. She decided to advocate and fight for the voiceless globally. Teresa is the CEO of Driven by Purpose, LLC.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. And leading our panel today, we have Miss Tasima J. She has a unique skill set that includes utilizing community engagement to expand the range of social media management and leverage TV promotions to help get the word out for the benefit of reciprocal needs within business and community. She is a self-proclaimed performing arts junkie who coincidentally has worked with hundreds of companies, artists, and kiddos. As a business consultant, while traveling throughout various communities, speaking about domestic violence, lending my voice to MC host events, and volunteering with her favorite nonprofit organizations. We welcome today Miss T. Giles.
Hello, amazing humans.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for that awesome introduction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, all right. So I don't hear anything else. Are we jumping in?
We are jumping right in. I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to T. Giles.
Thank you, Zanine. Amazing ladies. I'm so excited to just be able to help facilitate this discussion. It's so absolutely important that we really talk about the challenges Black women are facing in business. And I was really enjoying the introduction for each of you and all of the amazing work that you're doing, both in the military, Dr. Madeline, and T. Nicole, just the work you're doing in terms of mental health and rebuilding that aspect of your life and how you're going to be able to really pour into many of our viewers. So I'm really excited about the feedback you guys have. So Dr. Madeline, I'm just going to jump in with you. All right. Offer your excellent feedback regarding this particular question. What do cultural expectations and familial responsibilities impact the career trajectories of Black women entrepreneurs? So how does the cultural expectations, which we have so many expectations in the Black community, what should be, and the family related responsibilities, how does all that impact where we can go as entrepreneurs? How is it?
Well, I would say, for one, as women, when it comes to, progressing in the business world or in our careers, we have to make sure that we navigate those obstacles. So sometimes, when you ask about the culture and the family and all of that, some of those things sometimes you have to kind of not take a back seat, but you have to make sure that you have your priorities, how you're going to, where everything goes in that line of progression. So if you know that you're trying to make it to a certain point in your business, or you're trying to accomplish something in your business, sometimes if the person is not pushing you, encouraging you, and helping you, then it's going to be hard for you to do what you need to do if your mind is trying to just wrap yourself around all these negative things that might be going on. So when you talk about culture, as Black women, we really have to make sure that we have our stuff together. So a lot of times we can't let outside influences or what have you take us off the path that we're trying to get to. If you just have to make sure that you, like I said, you keep your priorities straight and make sure that as you're taking those steps, you just keep looking forward and keep your eye on that prize.
Absolutely. And Dr. Madeline, what it sounds like I'm hearing you say also is we have these really high expectations for how things need to happen. And maybe we're not always having the positive collaboration from those familiar places, from our family and culturally. But it sounds like what you're saying is you really have to be able to rise above those challenges and really
Absolutely.
stay focused on what the
Mhm.
ultimate path is. If we
Mhm.
are to take this and go in this direction, we have to
Mhm.
change the way we interact and the
Sometimes
way
the
we view
mindset,
the world.
the different things like that have to change. Everybody that starts with you sometimes can't keep going with you, and you have to let them go along the way as you're moving up. So you have to keep those things in mind as you're trying to, as you say, come from here and start going over here. And that's pretty much how it goes. Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely am grateful for your feedback. So, speaking of people who start there but don't
Mhm,
end there,
mhm,
let's jump into your question, lovely T. Nicole.
mhm,
So, how do mental health challenges
mhm,
such as imposter syndrome,
mhm,
burnout, and these kind of things impact Black women in high pressure business environments? I know that that's a loaded question. I mean,
mhm,
we can, like a baked potato, we could put bacon and we could just keep piling it on, right?
mhm.
But because of your own journey through in mental health, I thought this was an appropriate question for you.
Mhm. And I wanna thank you for asking that question because sometimes you can become overwhelmed, especially dealing with your mental health and taking on problems from everybody else, which causes you not to complete the task. Not It causes you not to feel like you gotta show up because you don't know how to when you're not mentally stable, and you'll be, like, overworked, you'll be overwhelmed, stressed out, and won't be able to do your business successfully. And going back to what the doctor just said, it's like you have the people that be there with you, but they don't start. I mean, they don't finish with you. And so that plays on your mentality too, because you be like, dang, these people are not with me. I thought they was going to be here with me. And that sometimes pulls you down and it causes a person to go into to depression. And so you have to break that barrier. You have to learn how to start taking that time to yourself, do the self-reflection, the self-care, and find that balance again so that you can show up and not have to worry about the outside, but go within to say, how can I be who I need to be successful in my business?
Oh, that's phenomenal. So,
Mhm,
T, when we think about depression and all of those things, I definitely know people who have like just navigating in our community. And when I say our community, I'm specifically referring to us as Black women. We are
mhm,
targeting, this is a targeted conversation, people. So I
mhm.
don't want to hear about anybody out there saying, well, what about the men? This conversation is specifically about the women. Black men, we love
Absolutely.
you, okay? All right. So, I mean, I'm just saying, we have to preface
Yes.
these things,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but we deal with a lot of imposter syndrome.
Mhm,
We deal with a lot of burnout, and
Hmm.
those things I think lead to depression. So, what I feel like I'm kind of hearing you say is when we're taking self inventory, when we're looking at what we really need to do to be
mhm,
healthy, and that's
mhm,
different for each person, I'm
mhm,
sure. Like,
Hmm.
would you kind of agree that in those high pressure business environments, we have a responsibility to put ourselves first? Number
Yes.
one, that's right. All Black women, you are number one. We are
yes.
happy we have children. God bless
Hmm.
every last one of them. We
Hmm.
love our parents. We love the spouses. We are just really rejoicing for every last individual.
Yeah.
But it's time for us first, so we can't take care of anyone else, right?
Right.
Yes, you're right. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Miss Zanine, I have a special question for you as well, wonderful human. So, because you are in this wonderful Black business network realm, I thought this would be a great question for you. What support networks and resources would you say are available to Black women entrepreneurs seeking to grow their business? I'm sure each of you can chime in on this answer, but we'll start with Zanine.
Well, I believe that we have to start with our community. There are always resources out there. There's coaching. There's you know chamber of commerces and just different different resources that are right there in our community, but I believe as Black women, we don't take advantage of those.
Yeah.
I have the privilege of serving as an executive director at domestic violence program here in the area that I live in. And then I also do my businesses on the side. But I sit in these rooms with other business owners and entrepreneurs, even as an executive director. And a lot of them don't look like us. We're not taking advantage of the community resources that are out there. And so I would say, look into your Chamber of Commerce, become a member. Look for coaching opportunities too, because I believe in my heart that every coach needs a coach, or every coach can use a coach. I put it like that. Every mentor can use a mentor. So I believe we have to start right in our circle and see what's available to us, and not be fearful of stepping out into those spaces where we may not look like everybody else in the room. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that response, Zanine. I love and have been Speak Resilience. So Speak Resilience coaching is kind of something that we do where we're kind of walking alongside other coaches to really help pour into the community in that way. And we involve resources very similar to the ones you mentioned. I know I do not know where I would be without Operation Push Coalition in Chicago. There are so many places that they wrapped their arms around me as a young entrepreneur and kind of helped guide me along what needed to happen. Do you have any feedback to add to that in terms of resources, Dr. Madeline?
Well, yeah, I would say I agree with Zanine, where she said the Chamber of Commerce definitely is a great help. But you also have the Small Business Administration. And a lot of times, as she said, we don't take advantage of some of the things that are out there. And I also looking into grants. I mean, a lot of times we think, oh, I can't qualify for a grant, or my business won't qualify. But you don't have to get $100,000 grant. You can start with a small grant, $1,000, $2,500. Like you have places like Her Rise, they give grants. Tory Burch, she gives grants to small businesses that are just starting out. You'd be surprised some of the places. I think it's Hello Alice that gives grants to small businesses, different types of grant, and they have, different type of training if you're looking for training as a small business just starting out. So there are a lot of resources out there. It's not going to fall into your lap. You have to do your research to find these things. But to say that there's nothing out there or it's hard to find, that's only true if you're not doing your due diligence to find it. And, being associated with different organizations that can help you to find these things, that you have to get out there and network, collaboration, partnerships, different things like that. These are the things that will help you to find some of the things that you need. And as Black women, we need all the support that we can when we're trying to accomplish these things. And so don't feel like you have to do it alone, because you don't. There are, like you said, a coach needs a coach. I've always had a coach in career and in business, so you don't have to do it alone. You shouldn't have to do it alone. And you have to be willing to invest in yourself. That's another thing. A lot of people, just because I know you might be just starting out or what have you, but if you're trying to find different things, sometimes you may have to invest in yourself to learn or to, get the knowledge and the information. And look at this platform here, the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. Here's a platform that you can get a whole lot of information and find a whole lot of resources from the people that come on here. 100 and over 145 speakers that come on here globally. So it's a lot of ways that you can find those resources that you need. And yes, it's going to may take some time, but it's definitely going to take some work. And you can't just say there's nothing out there, because there is.
Mm-hmm. I love that, Dr. Madeline. So something that I thought about right away, and I know you all will probably be able to relate. Mm-hmm. My mother had this statement, God rest her soul. Mm-hmm. A closed mouth won't get fed.
Yes, that's
Oh,
true.
do we
Yeah.
have an amen section?
Yes,
Amen.
So,
Yes.
if we are not utilizing our mouths to go out there and make the ask,
Mhm.
I think on some level we have to consider that we're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yes.
worthy
Yeah.
enough that we
And
could be
that's
positioned
the
to
thing.
run a business, to own a business, to drive a purpose forward and to benefit the community. Therefore, we are worthy of every single penny we not only open our
Absolutely.
mouth and ask for, but
Yes.
do you
Yes.
understand?
Absolutely. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, a lot of the program,
Mhm.
even with the Small Business Administration, they have SCORE. A lot of the people at SCORE will mentor you for free. There is no charge.
Free.
It's
Mhm.
free. Opposite word
Exactly.
to it, being free, you know. So,
Mhm.
you just have to, like I said, reach out and do it. Do your due diligence to find out where these resources are. Yeah.
Mhm. And I want to add something to that because you hit on it a little bit. Networking.
Mhm.
Networking is the key. You have to be
Yeah.
willing to get out of your comfort zone and
Comfort
network
zone.
with people.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you might not be able to get the support that you need because you might be in a little small community, but you have to change your mindset because sometimes people do like to work in silos in my community, but
Mhm.
I cannot let that stop me from getting the information that I need. So, like you said, you got to go ask
You have
around,
to
but
ask.
you
Yeah.
also can go online, meet people like you, meet people like
Mhm.
Zanine, Dr.
Mhm. Mhm.
Madeline. Just got to be willing to put yourself in a position and be vulnerable and
To
to say,
do
listen, I need help. I need help, and it's okay. Mm,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yes.
because even with your community, your county, and I know in our county, if you go on the website for Prince George's Community County, then there are a lot of resources on there, and sometimes they have grants that they offer on there. So, like I said, it's just a matter of doing your due diligence sometimes.
Yes.
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 I'll chime in. I'll say I learned that when I
So I was
first.
curious to hear T. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
okay. No, I was saying I wanted to chime in on that piece about asking for help and asking for assistance, because when I became executive director over an agency, I'd never done that work before. I knew
Mhm.
I was supposed to be there. I knew that I had purpose there, but I had never done
Absolutely.
the legwork, the nuts and bolts of it all. And so
Right.
a lot of my time was spent reaching out to other directors, reaching out to the
Mhm.
Coalition Against Domestic
Absolutely.
Violence and getting that support. And now fast forward 5 years later, I'm able to help others that sit in these positions. So
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
speaking of which, and I want to definitely get your feedback also on this topic. And then I'm coming back around to you, Zanine. We're gonna keep the order going, but I have something on my mind I need to throw out there about you. Go ahead, T. Chime in on the resources piece, and I'm gonna come back around in a circle.
Okay, so I was mentioning, I was like, you really had to network because that is the most valuable thing, especially when you come from a small city. That a lot of times people like to work in silos and they feel like if they give you the information that you're going to come up instead of saying, oh, if I actually give you the information, you're going to get the right resources that you need so you can be successful in your business. So it's like being able to be pull on somebody that's a coach, pull on somebody that's a mentor, pull on people that have what you need. And sometimes you might have to go online and look up for somebody that might be all the way in Australia. They could be in
Mhm.
Africa. So
Mhm.
my mentors and my coaches is one is in the UK and one is in Africa. And I'm getting the resources that I need because they're plugging me into places that I need to be plugged in. So you just got to step out your comfort zone to get the
Absolutely.
resources
I
you need.
love that. The
Absolutely.
networking, the
Mhm.
doing all the
Mhm.
things that's required, the reaching out, the
Mhm.
the the keeping your mouth open to receive and to give the things that are required for you to
Yeah.
have success in your business. But I'm grateful to be able to come back around. Now, I don't know
Mhm.
about you all, but I will quote the color purple. In addition, I will quote random things from the Bible as it relates to a time such as this. And I will say, to whom much is given, much is required. So
Mhm.
our
Mhm.
lovely host, Zanine, she came on and she poured into each and every one of us, right?
Right.
But it's
Yes.
it's also important that we pour into her. And I think it's
Mhm.
important for there to be you guys need to know how great she is and all the things she's doing. Zanine actually spent 10 years of her career working for the Montgomery County Department of Human Resources as a financial support worker. She was also a social services caseworker, a social services supervisor. She is a domestic violence survivor who now serves as the executive director of the DV Center, where she has served faithfully for the last 5 years. Now, she mentioned some of this, but we just need to lay it all out for the people, okay? So Zanine has embarked upon her entrepreneurship journey as a 2-time author, launching ZLD Empowers and her mentorship group, Empowered to Be Free, Empowering Others. That is the person who is hosting us on this glorious experience. So I'm just saying, flowers while you live. Flowers.
I know that's right.
Yes,
absolutely.
So I had to make sure that was clear, but I did have a couple of other things I wanted to ask about if you ladies are still up for the challenge.
Yes.
All right. What are some misconceptions about Black women in the business world? I thought this was going to be good, Doctor. I can already see Dr. Madeline shaking her head down in the Delta, just thinking about how can we address these misconceptions. I know about 1 million of them exist. I'm going to start with Dr. Madeline.
I tell you what, the misconception, and I always say this, as Black women, we always have to be on top of our game, no matter what. In the business world, in the workplace, what have you, you have to be on top of your game because you're always going to be scrutinized. It's almost like, they try to make you like you would, part of the imposter syndrome is that they try to make you doubt your abilities, that what that you don't really have the right to be there because who are you to be telling me or, giving me information? Where did you come from? You always get that kind of thing. I know I used to represent my organization all the time and I would go out to different places. And a lot of times, I'd be in the room and I'm the only one in that room that looks like me. And so I knew that there was going to be a challenge from somebody. Some idiot was going to stand up and, have something to want to debate about or what have you. And that's just the nature of the beast. When you're trying to get high up, the ranks or high up in business or CEO, what have you, they're always going to have that, who do you think you are? Or another one is the attitude thing. Why do you have such an attitude? It's not an attitude. It's just that I'm confident that I know that I know that I know. So that's not an attitude. So those are the things that we have to step into a lot of times, but those are the things that I try to teach my clients to maneuver around those type of obstacles to get around those things, because you're going to run into it. And I know that's just the tip of the iceberg. I know you all have more that you can talk about too, because there you go.
Yes, I'm actually coming back around to Zanine because so within the domestic violence sector, we know it's pretty vast. As a fellow speaker of the thing and a fellow childhood sexual abuse and domestic violence survivor, I can completely understand not only the misconceptions we have given ourselves as survivors coming on the other side of that, having the courage to be able to speak publicly and having the view that maybe somehow our vulnerability is weakness. But what I have found, Ms. Zanine, and I'm sure you will concur, that vulnerability properly and healthily placed is a superpower. Yes. How can we battle against the misconceptions that we have? And how I'm curious to hear some of your solutions to how they can be addressed.
So the thing about being vulnerable, again, like you said, it has to be healthy a healthy vulnerability. And so making sure that we're healed and we're ready to be vulnerable, because we can be vulnerable in an unhealthy way, and that can just bleed on the people. That can just make it a little.
I call it vomit. Just vomit on everything. Just
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So that healing process and making sure that we're okay before we start to kind of, engage and share, making sure that we're strong and able to share with confidence, because we're now on the other side of those things. And so I think talking about the other side of that vulnerability, there are also going to be times when people are going to challenge you because of that. Sadly so, sometimes it's our own, not just our counterparts. A lot of times it's our own. And that's what I found, being in a leadership position, it was more of my own that kind of would take my vulnerability and kind of try to use it against me. And
so the misconception, it sounds like you're saying the misconception is, don't take my kindness for weakness.
Absolutely.
That's my way of
there you go.
yeah, summarize that a little bit.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
Yes. And I think if we can build more of a sisterhood, even in business and in the workplaces, because yes, there's competition, but we're not competing against each other. We should be holding each other up and encouraging each other. It's just a lot of times we, as a people, we don't like to see other people rise, and that's not okay. And so I think that's one way we can fight the misconceptions that come from even our counterparts, is because we gotta come together. We got to build that sisterhood in our agencies and in our businesses, and so that we can be the picture of what it's supposed to be like,
Absolutely. I love what you said, Zanine. It kind of makes me think about, and I'm a pretty animated person, right? I notice that every time I get ready to speak, I'm like, yes, and the stars and the moon. So you all just bear with me. I'm a very expressive speaker in that way. But what I think about is, as we walk alongside one another, I think where the insecurity and the self-esteem issues are usually placed, at least, and you guys can let me know, this is what it feels like for me. And I know I'm definitely curious to hear your feedback on this, T.
Okay.
We have those moments where when our light is shining so brightly, right, as Black women, hunty, our light, baby, there is nothing brighter than our light. But I think what it looks like from the outside for people who struggle with being able to support and walk alongside one another is that light kind of reveals to us maybe what we're not doing. Maybe what we're not pursuing in our own time, right? Because people whose light shine, they're grinding. And usually they're not worried necessarily about what other people are thinking about them, because they're too busy trying to get to the next thing. And then a hater or somebody who's not as esteemed about their own successes in life will try to throw a pebble like, I don't really think you are that great, when really is the fact that I'm not applying my own self to be great. So I'm curious to know, T. I'm curious now. When we look at that as being a misconception, how can it be addressed with this light shining business, and piggybacking off of what Ms. Zanine said about the support, and piggybacking off what Dr. Madeline said? You got your work cut out for you, man.
Exactly, because it's a lot of work. But the thing is, it's situations like that every day where, like you said, somebody could be right where they need to be, and their light is shining. And then sometimes a person could be walking side by side with that person, and then they're shown them because they feel like they're not being that support that they need to be, even though their light is shining. But then they don't realize that they try to break somebody down that's been there, that's supporting them. And then they make you out to be the bad guy because you decide to say, you know what, I'm gonna take a pause. Not that I ain't gonna support you, not that I don't see you. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm not slandering your name, but I just gotta take a pause because I need that same energy. Because guess what? Your light shining and I see you, but my light shining, and I never once said anything about you. So you got to look at it like that too, because sometimes
We got
people
to
can
reciprocate.
appear.
We
They
got
got
to
to reciprocate.
reciprocate the light.
And you do. And sometimes people put on that facade. They be seeming like everything is good. It's looking good, but is it really good? Because we are reflections of each other. So you got to look at it like that. So you got to be willing to do that self-inventory and say, you know what, am I really hating, or am I just, I want the same thing because I'm giving you my energy. And I see you, Shannon. I'm proud of you, but help me too along the way. Now, I hope I answered it the best way I could, because I just feel like it's always two sides to that, because sometimes people could be right where they need to be, but then they look at the person that's right there helping them along the way. But then when they need the help as a business owner, they like, okay, well, you wasn't there. You didn't say hello to me at my meeting. You didn't support me in this way. But this is a part of, I'm like, we got to do something better, especially when we trying to build our businesses and build each other as a sisterhood or whatever the case may be. Yes, ma'am.
So I think what it sounds like you're saying, whenever you mention self-inventory, like first and foremost, I think we all have that responsibility that we should be doing consistently on a daily basis. I feel like I'm in inventory moment by moment. I'm like, oh God, did I just say that? Help bring me back in. Or, oh, did I just not value myself as much as I should have? God, bring me on back to where I'm supposed to be. Is this the client you have for me? So that's my way. Everyone has their way. But something I wanted to dive into a little bit, and, so just to finish that thought, when we think about self-inventory, if we go into every interaction looking for how not only we can pour into the women around us, but also how we can receive them pouring into us. And that will look different depending on who you ask, right? Just like the 4 different personality types. If I am a high energy personality, I am going to pour into someone with that high energy. I don't have any other way. I won't come to you as a dove and pour into you this way, right? I'm going to give you what I have to give you. And so we have to be able to look at, if someone is an introvert, they might need to be poured into a different way than someone with a big personality. So we also have to have the balance of how do we show up for one another in the way one another needs us to show up, not the way we feel it's okay to show up. I think that's a love language conversation too, maybe meant for another time. But that's what I was processing. So,
Well,
Denise, do we have time for another question? Oh, go ahead. Dr. Madeline.
Say what you were talking about. I also think that it comes back to, I think what Zanine said, we really have to learn how to support each other and not feel that we have to compete, because there's enough in the pot for everybody. So we shouldn't have to feel like, oh, I can't help you, or I can't give you any information, because if I do, then you may take that information and you may wind up higher than I am or going further than I do, where it shouldn't be like that. And even if they do go further than you, you should want to see that. You should be happy if that happens, because that's what it means to be a support to other women.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that just goes to show we're in our own space. Oh, go ahead. T, you were about to say something.
No. I was just saying I agree with that, because it's a lot of times people feel threatened, and they shouldn't, because we are in this to win it, even though we might have our own journey, but we should be in it to win it and to see each other grow. But sometimes people have that crab mentality. If you get higher than me, I can't help you. And that's what it is. So yes, thank you for that.
Yes. Did we lose Janine?
I think so. We lost both. We lost both.
We're all in our own lane. Our purpose might even be aligned with one another, but we're still all traveling on our own trajectory of where we're supposed to be. Now,
Mhm.
That's great. Well, ladies, thank you all so very much for being on the show today. Thank you, Ms. T. Nicole, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, Ms. Tashina J. Thank you all so very much for your
My
time. For those
pleasure.
of you that would like to continue this conversation, we will do so at 4 o'clock. Thank you all so much. Remember that genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you so very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.